So you've finished your first project and you have reached the inevitable question, what do I do with all of these live stitches that are on my needle? Eventually you have to take them off of there to turn your project from knitting into an actual scarf. And the way that you do that is called binding off. And this is probably the most common, the knitted bind off is probably the most common and useful that you'll come across. And the way that you do it is this. You're going to go into your first stitch and knit it, just like you've been doing. And you'll go in and you'll knit your second stitch. And now you've got 2 stitches on your needle. What you'll do is you'll go into the base of the first stitch that you knit with your left hand needle. You're going to go and pick that stitch up. I usually pop my finger on the end of this needle so the first stitch doesn't fall off, but bring them both to the end of the needle and you're going to pull that first stitch right over the top of the second one. So there's your second stitch still on the needle, and you can see your first stitch is right there and have wrapped around the bottom of it. And that is 1 stitch that's been bound off. So I know you knit 2 stitches, but you've only bound off that 1. So to bind off the next one, you'll knit another stitch. So now you've got 2 stitches on your right hand needle again, and you can do that same motion. Take that first stitch, pull it over the top of the second one, and now you've bound off 2 stitches, and you can start to see that's where your fabric is ending. So we'll do a few more. Knit 1, pull your first stitch over the top of your second stitch, knit another one. You only ever want to have 2 stitches on your right hand needle to bind off. You don't need to have 3, and you can't do it with just 1. So 2 stitches, pull the first over the second. I'll just finish up the row here. And when you get to the end, you are going to be left with 1 lonely little stitch sitting on your needle. And all you need to do to finish up with that is start to tug gently on your needle and elongate that stitch. Just keep pulling on it. Obviously you'll want to break your yarn first. You don't want it to be attached. Usually just leave like a 6-inch tail or so. And start pulling that tail right through and just give it a tug until it pops free. And that's all you need to do to lock down that last stitch. That'll just kind of pull it right through there and keep it locked down. And you can see you'll have a lovely little matching edge that will match nicely with your cast-on edge. And that is how to do a knitted bind-off.